hand and my eyes I have seen the Lord. The prophet, a man of God, that have told me everything that I have done in my life that I have never told with anybody. The Lord is the one that saves you. The relationship of salvation first have to be initiated by God, not man. Some of you think that because you go to God or because you go to church, then you are saved. No, until the Lord comes to you and saves you and calls you, then it takes two parties. As we are talking about in the summary, about a contract. Contract is between two people. The Lord reaches out to you. Well, some of you men, you like to chase women. And some of you women like to chase men. You woo them and you seduce them. And you do all kinds of stuff to entice them. The Lord who calls you is wooing you and asking you, my son, my groom, come to me. My bride, come to me. The Lord is calling you and saying, come to me, my child, my son and my daughter is wooing you and is calling you and encouraging you. But the Lord did not force it upon you. He didn't force you. He has given you and has told you what he's capable of doing. So all of you that are hearing the message there as we get to the conclusion, you hear what the Lord says. In verse 22, he says, you worship what you do not know. We worship what we know. For salvation is from the Jews, but an hour is coming, and now is when the true worshippers will worship the Father in the Spirit and in truth. For such people, the Father seeks to be his worshippers. The Father seeks to be his worshippers. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in the Spirit and in truth. How do you worship God? That is the question that you will have to answer yourself. Because this is a personal call. The Lord calls everybody. But each individual person will have to work out their own salvation. Are you worshiping God the right way? Do you really know the right way to worship God? If you are a believer and a child of God, you should know. If you are saved, you should know. If you are born again, you should know. The Lord calls you to seek him, to search that you may find, seek that you may find, ask that you may be given unto you, and knock that you may be opened. He gave you that as a command, and it says that whosoever seeks finds, and whosoever knocks is open for, and whosoever asks receives. In all things about your life. A lot of people go to church and they say they worship God, but what exactly are you doing? They are not worshiping God. A lot of people that you find in a lot of churches today, what are they doing? They go there to exercise. As you can see from me moving back and forth and even talking, I am sweating. You may not see it because of what I have on top of me, but deep inside of me, I am sweating. There are people that go to church because it is an opportunity for them to do exercise. If you watch TV, you will see a lot of exercise rituals where it's always by dancing, dancing, dancing. That's the exercises they do. Well, a lot of people go to church so that they can go and get their exercise. There are people that love to dance. And because they say they don't want them to see them go to clubs of the world, so they go to church so that they can be able to dance. Everybody is dancing and you see them dancing all kinds of ways. There are some people that will dance until their shoes will fall off. A lot of people go to church and you think that they are in the church to worship God. And they say they are musicians in the church. But for them, they have established themselves some residual income because that is money they gain every week. And they divide themselves up. They play from one church to the another to collect money. And they sing from one church to the another. We use them. We find them. Yes, there are people that it's already in the scriptures. Those that in the service of the Lord, they're from there, they shall also benefit. The church takes care of them. But it's not like they belong to any church. It's a business that they're doing. So for them, they are not there to worship God. They say, oh, I'm worshiping God in doing this, I'm worshiping God. But what is actually a true worship in truth and in the spirit? Some people like to shout. It is a time for them to get their word out of their mouth. So they go to church so that they can talk. So they provide a forum where they meet people to gossip, to slander, to do all kinds of things in the house of the Lord. That is the reason why they go to church. And yet they say they are here to worship God. Is God in such a place? Is God with such people? Is God receiving such an offering and such a worship? There are people that says that coming to my church is like going to a funeral because it's all the time you are serious. It's all about word. You don't tell jokes anymore. Because I realized that when I used to make some jokes, people come to hear which joke I will tell so that they will have something to talk about when they go home. Oh, what our pastor or what our bishop said today. People go to church like it's a comedy club where people go to laugh and they joke, and yet they say they worship God. To a lot of people, it is an entertainment. You hear the Supreme Court this past session called the church is more like a theater. We have in the seminary, thank God I wouldn't even look at things like that. In the seminary, they teach people acting, they teach people theater. That the spirit, charismatic spirit that comes from God is no longer relevant and it is now thrown away, and they teach them to be a performer. And what is that? It means lying, deceiving people. If you really look at the Greek translation of what they are doing. So you are in the church to deceive people so that I will look believable to you, so that you can believe the word you hear from me. And they teach them as a way. So it's no longer to pray to God and ask God for the charismatic spirit so that the word that comes from the Lord will come from God, so that God, the Spirit of God, can convince the people and convict them so that they can give their life to God. It is to perform a stage. That's why you find them performing fake miracles. And coronavirus exposed them. I say, where are they?